Hello everyone, my name is Katarina and welcome to my YouTube channel and blog. Sorry about the shaking at some places. For next time I have to think of better way of attaching my camera. Today I want to show you how I made this card for this year's Halloween, and I thought I will give a video a shot alongside of my regular blog post. I wasn't going to make a card for Halloween this year because it's not really a thing in Europe. But I found this stamp set from Newton's Nook Designs called Spooky Street. And the idea behind it is when you Google wallpapers for Halloween, there are many with purple-orange background and black shapes, and that's the idea I wanted to create. I used the Langton watercolor cardstock from 𝗙𝗪𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪 Brownie. It's hot pressed, so it doesn't have any texture. I'm no expert here, I'm still learning when it comes to distress blending. But this paper is perfect for it. It glides on the paper and blends very nicely. I cut the cardstock to the size of A6 card, which is the equivalent of standard A2 size in the US. Since I was creating a black hill with a sunset sky, I needed to create a stencil first. To do this, I just used 2 pieces of post-it notes to cover the whole watercolor panel. Then I hand drew a hill and cut it out. I needed 2 stencils to separate the hill from the sky and then the sky from the hill. And what I did here, after I cut out the first stencil, I flipped it over and used it as a guide to create a stencil that will cover the sky. To create the sky, I used 5 distress inks: Spiced Marmalade, Seedless Preserves, Dusty Concord, Blueprint Sketch, and the black soot. No need to do that. I think the orange, purple, and black are enough, but I was just trying out. To start with the blending, I first placed the stencil. I used also washi tape to keep the 2 post-it notes together. I wish I secured the washi tape at the sides as I made a little bit of mess when I was blending the black hill, which you will see later. I started blending with Spiced Marmalade and finished with black soot, and it was just mixing the other colors in between. For me, it's good to have a smooth surface below the paper, this way it glides better. At least this works for me when I'm using distress inks. What I did, I laminated 2 papers, one in A4 size and this one is A5. And so far it works very well. Again, I'm so sorry for the shaking. My iPhone is attached to a lamp and the lamp is right on the table. And the ink blending shakes the whole table, so sorry for that. Once the ink blending was done, I peeled off the mask and flipped it over and attached the second stencil. The sky is still wet, therefore I really recommend securing the stencil on the sides. I didn't do that and the stencil moved and I a little messed it up. I didn't go and redo it all over again because the house is gonna be right on that part. But yeah, it would have been better when it was not messy. So this is how it looked like when I was trying to fix the background. I applied a little bit of water and reapplied Spiced Marmalade. It helped a bit, but it could have been better. I let it dry overnight. I just wanted to be sure that it's really dry so I don't have any problems with heat embossing. First I stamped the tree and the house with a VersaFine ink in Onyx Black. I used Mini Misty for this. I'm really bad at stamping and Misty really helped a lot. I had to re-stamp 3 times. To avoid embossing powder sticking to the paper, I used anti-static powder tool. I placed the house and the tree onto the Misty and closed the door. I had to repeat this 3 times, as I already said, because it just was not stamping really well. Then I used black embossing powder. I really don't have any problems with using black embossing powder. I know some people do because apparently it leaves mess. I never had any problems. I think glitter is much worse. After I finished heat embossing, I noticed one spot on a tree didn't have any embossing on it. Luckily, I still had stamps inside of my Misty, so I just put the panel back and stamped one more time and heat set it, and it fixed the problem. To finish the stamping, I just used a regular acrylic box to stamp the moon, the graveyard, the owl, and 3 bats. Then again, I used black embossing powder and just heat set it as usual. For the sentiment, I cut out little banner from the same watercolor cardstock. Then I used Twisted Citron Distress ink to create a background. And for the sentiment, I decided to use Happy Halloween from the All Occasion sentiments from 𝗙𝗢𝗟𝗟𝗢𝗪. I used Misty once more to stamp the sentiment so it's properly stamped on the little banner, and then heat embossed it with a black embossing powder. Lastly, I spread a little bit of water onto the background, but I reapplied more distress ink to intensify the colors because they look a little bit faded. Next, I trimmed the sides of the banner piece and cut out a ribbon end. To adhere it to the panel, I used double-sided foam squares that I cut in half. I'm always tempted to buy the bigger roll of foam tape from Scotch, but the price seems really crazy to me. I buy my foam tape in a local €1 store. The pack comes with squares like these and a roll, and it's very sticky, and I never had problems with it. So cheap is not always bad. To finish the card, I adhere the panel directly to the card base, for which I use a heavyweight black cardstock, and I was using a double-sided tape from 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, which I bought at Amazon. So that is the finished card. The supplies will be listed over on my blog, and you can find the link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and feel free to subscribe. I don't know when I will post the next card video. I know I want to do my planner setup first, but if people like it, I might just do it more often. You can catch me over on my blog or social media. The links you can find in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!